Hello, everyone. It's Reverend Matthew Sponigal from St. Luke's Anglican Church in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And I'm here with my two children to talk to somebody else about what they do to help God and in God's world. And today we have our guest. It's Archbishop Linda, who's the Primate of all of Canada. Good morning, Archbishop Linda.
Good morning, Matthew, and good morning, guys.
Good morning. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask an Archbishop?
What does the Archbishop do?
What does an Archbishop do? Well, that's a good question. An Archbishop is a bishop who helps the other bishops and all of the clergy and the people to follow Jesus, to support them and help them to do what God is calling them to do. So an Archbishop meets with bishops, meets with clergy, and helps them to listen to what God might be asking.
I don't know. What do you do to help God in God's world?
What do you do to help God in God's world?
Right. Have you ever stood way up high, maybe in a building, way up where there was a balcony and you could look down and see everything that was going on?
Have you ever stood up high in a building and looked all around?
No.
Not really. No,
Not
okay.
really. Okay. Have you ever been up on the top of a ladder where you could look down?
Or on a play structure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe up. Yeah. Well, sometimes you can see, yeah, you can see more and you can see what's going on, and the people down on the ground can just see what's right around them. And so as a primate, as an archbishop, my job is partly to look around and see all of the things that are going on across the whole of the Anglican Church of Canada, and to tell the story of one part to another part, to tell the story of you in Atlantic Canada to the people way over in British Columbia, or to tell the story from a little bit from the Arctic or Northern Ontario to those that are in Toronto. So my job is to kind of listen to what's happening across the whole of the country in the Anglican Church, and to tell the stories and help each other to know how to care for and support each other.
And is there anything else you'd like to ask Archbishop Linda?
No.
You forget. Okay. What brings you joy?
I didn't know. What brings you joy?
Well, I love having conversations with people about God. And then when I'm not having to do church work, there's three things I love really especially. One is I love to go canoeing in God's wilderness, out in the rivers and lakes. I love to canoe and camp and stay overnight. And the second thing is I love to sing. I love to sing in a choir and join people in making great music. And the third thing is I have a cat. And his name is Bagheera. Do you know Bagheera?
No.
Daddy does from when he was in Cubs.
Yes.
That's from
yes,
the Jungle Book, I think, isn't it?
That's right. It's from the book they call the Jungle Book, and it's the name of the Black Panther. And my cat is all black, so I call him Bagheera. And he gives me a lot of joy because he reminds me that nothing's more important than feeding the cat.
Cats have a way of doing that. We don't have a cat. And what do you find challenging in your role as primate?
Oh, lots of things. Sometimes, do you boys ever fight with each other?
No.
What? Yeah, a little bit.
Well, sometimes churches have disagreements, and sometimes people have disagreements, and those can be really challenging. And so sometimes it's hard to help people to sit down and to listen to one another and understand why they're different, why they have different perspectives. And so that can be challenging. Yeah.
I think one of the things you mentioned earlier in your role as primate is to do a lot of listening. And sometimes we find that challenging too, don't we? Because sometimes we're so concerned about what we want to say, we don't listen to what other people want to say, right? So it's a skill that we're learning to develop, careful listening. Well, would you like to say thank you to Archbishop Linda for talking with us this morning?
Bye.
Thank thank you very much. It's been good to be with you this morning.
All right. You can say bye.
Oh,
Oh, you're
Oh,
seeing all our.
I brought something to show you, though.
She brought something to show us. Let's
Give just
watch.
a minute.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Have you ever seen Archbishop Ron? And he carries a big staff that has a crook
Yes. Remember
like
Archbishop?
this one? Yeah. That's what bishops normally carry.
Oh,
But
it's
the
not.
doesn't have a diocese. So the primate, when the primate comes to visit, brings this. I can't bring it down any further because it's too tall. Whoops, there we go.
There you go.
It's a big cross, and it has some symbols here to tell us about the different provinces in Canada that made the Anglican Church of Canada in the 19th century. And on the other side, it has symbols that tell us about the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And so when I come to visit next time, if you see me, there'll be somebody, probably somebody else carrying it for me in front of me as a sign that I'm the primate. So that's what they call the primatial cross. And I got it out specially to show you.
Oh, that's really nice. And I didn't know about the different symbols on it. That's really a neat sign of our church's history and our unity. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for listening so well. You really kept still and listened very closely. Thank you.
All right. You want to say goodbye to Archbishop Linda?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Until we get to see you here.
Yes, hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.